Shock 'em in Starcraft.
Press E and then you can build a pylon. In order to escape, you can press the escape key, come back out, and send your unit to go collect some resources here. I'm going to put a couple probes, 3 probes on the gas, and send them over there. We'll queue up some probes here, and what we're going to do is we're going to build the structure, go to build, gateway. Gateway is where you can get your first basic units that attack. Zealots are going to be your first tier unit, your basic unit that only can attack ground, and I will build one of those for you in a second. Chrono Boost requires 25 energy on your Nexus, and what Chrono Boost does is you can place Chrono Boost on your Nexus, or you can place it on other buildings, because you see how you can do research on this building. It makes your ground weapons better. So if you say you research ground weapons, and that's going to take a long time to do, you can go down here, select Chrono Boost, go to this building, click it. You'll see that it's going to have this blue circle around it. It's going to make this research go a lot faster. So if you read it here, it says places target buildings in a Chrono Boost. All buildings will operate 50% faster for 20 seconds, which is a crazy amount faster. Let's build another probe. Let's go here. You see this Zealot? Let's build a Zealot, and we're going to Chrono Boost out the Zealot. That means we're going to get the Chrono Boost, and we're just going to click right on the gateway. And you'll see that this is going much faster than it was before, and we're going to have this Zealot out before we even know it. Now let's grab this probe, and we're going to go to these normal buildings again. We're going to build a cybernetics core. And we're going to build it right there. And then we're going to build, I'm going to press B, and then press E, build another pylon over here so we can build additional buildings in this area. Send our probe back this way. Now we have this Zealot, which can kill up to like 4 to 5 Zerglings by itself. So it's a really powerful ground unit. You can see that it attacks with its little blades. It's a pretty sweet unit. What we're going to do is we'll build another one, and we'll click this Chrono Boost. You do have a limited amount of Chrono Boost. You see how it says 25? That means 25 energy it requires. Right here, your energy goes up 1 every couple seconds, and it's 82 out of 100, 83 out of 100. It continues to go up, but you can use this Chrono Boost on different things. We'll build a Stalker, okay? That's another ground unit. And we're going to grab the Chrono Boost and use it on here. And you see how we're down to 44. We can use up our Chrono Boost. We'll click the research. This is just research for, you know, I'll just tell you later on, but it's just research. So you're going to start researching this, and you're going to click your building, Chrono Boost that, and that's going to go faster. And you see that we can build another Stalker now that one's out. Grab this, Chrono Boost that. The biggest and hardest part about playing Protoss is remembering to Chrono Boost when you have the energy to do so, because things come out so much faster. Research goes down so much faster. Units will come out that much faster. And you'll see that I'm pink Protoss at this point, and pink is kind of funny when it comes to different races. So we'll see that this Stalker can shoot from a range. If we see here, I'm pressing attack from over here. I can press attack. I can attack my own units if I do it this way. Or if you're going to attack other enemy units, you can just right-click. I'm right-clicking, but it's just going to move. If I right-click my structures or my guys, it'll just walk up to them. And the best thing about Stalkers is that they can attack from a distance. And if you see these Zealots, if they want to attack, they have to go right up. They do a crazy amount of damage. See how that guy's almost halfway dead? You'll see these Stalkers could easily just attack, run, and that right there, when you focus on your units and you focus on attacking that way, and you don't want to die, and you're making your units, moving them around with your mouse, and really surviving with them the best as you can, as opposed to clicking your units like this, and you can press attack, click a place on the map, they're just going to attack everything on their way to that point, and they're just going to die on their way from other units or various different things. And that's called micro. When you actually pay attention to your units and you attack and you move them around, you're definitely very skilled if you can do it. And it's one of my favorite parts about the game, because there's micro, which you're microing your units, you're moving them, you're trying to keep them alive, and then there's macro. And macro is what you're doing to gather your resources. You're getting minerals here, you're gathering your Vespene gas here. The macro is your economy. It's your minerals and your Vespene gas and your food. You always want to look at your food and make sure you have enough pylons so you can continue building more units, more of an army. The whole goal is to get a larger army and to be more strategic about where you're placing your army and where you're attacking. You'll notice there's not going to be any other computer or bad guy on this map. It's strictly for learning purposes. And if we grab this probe, say we're on this base and we're running low on minerals and we're going to want to expand. This means we're going to want to come down here, press B or select this button, and go up to Nexus, which is N. I'll press B, then N, and I can build the Nexus fairly close, not really too close to the minerals, but fairly close. And the Nexus is going to be building here. And you're going to want to build another pylon next to it. And now you'll be able to build workers here, and you could even bring some of these workers down to start eating these minerals and bringing in this Vespene gas. If you have two bases, you have one expansion, you're going to have twice as many minerals and twice as many Vespene gas coming in. But the hardest part about that is protecting both of them at the same time with a sufficient army. Because if you're spending 400 minerals on a Nexus, that's 4 less zealots you could have. So you basically, the biggest thing in Starcraft is really knowing what to do with your money. Should I build more buildings, or should I build more units? Should I expand, or should I build more units to defend? There's so much strategy behind it. It's just crazy. It's an RTS, real-time strategy, and that's just the definition right there. You're going to be building a base. You're going to be building units to attack. You're going to have to keep an economy. You know, you're going to have to do the economy thing. You're going to have to do the micro thing, which means when you attack, you're going to want to attack, and you're going to want to keep your units in front that are the strongest. You're going to want to keep the units in the back that have the range. So say you have these zealots and you have these stalkers. You attack, you're going to want to attack maybe with your zealots first so your stalkers can shoot over them like this. And that's just the micro aspect, taking care of the units and not just letting them die. And we'll see, I'll show you why I put this pylon down here in a second. We're not going to worry about putting workers here. You know that you just have to do that if you did that, if you built that Nexus. Remember I went over here and I just researched this random thing. I researched the warp-in gateway, and what the warp-in gateway does, I can select the gateway over here, and I go down here, it says transform to warp gate. So I researched warp gates so that I could turn this gateway into a warp gate. It only takes 10 seconds to do, and it doesn't require any minerals or anything. And what it does is it changes your building, does this little animation. And now these units down here that you have, say you want a sentry. We'll talk a little bit about the sentry. See how you have this pylon down here and all this blue circle around it, your building space? Anywheres you have pylons, now you can put your unit instantly. See, we'll see, it warps in the sentry. Now I have an instant sentry, and you'll see how this shadow is just kind of going around in a circle. Until that is completely unshadowed and it's light again, you can't build another unit. There's a cooldown on it. It says cooldown remaining 7, 6, and once that's done, that's basically how long it takes to build a sentry. You can build another unit. Say I want to warp in a stalker. I can click the stalker and I can go down here. Because I have a pylon here, and the reason you want to build a pylon next to your expansion is you can warp in units quickly to defend it. And that's one of the best things about Protoss, is that they can warp these things in. They do have this boost, the chrono boost, to boost any technology they want. Say you want to research something else, it doesn't even matter what it is, it's going to make it go a lot faster. Say you want this cooldown to go down a lot faster, you can use the chrono boost. And essentially that's Protoss in a nutshell. Protoss has shields. They have, you'll see here that if I attack this guy, See how his shields went down? There's 52 out of 100 health he has, but then it has 10 out of 50 shield. See how his shield's going up now from 10 to 20, and it's going to go back up to 50. That's one of the great things about Protoss is that they have these shields that they can just use to be a tank and then back off once they used up their shield so that they can get their shield back again. And when you're playing this game, you're going to want to make sure that you keep building pylons so that you have enough food so you can afford to have that many units on the map. And we'll go into a few more things here. This is a cannon, and a cannon is defense. It's just static defense, which means it can't move around the map. It's defense that is from a building. It's going to be shooting